Hey everyone, True Patriot here, also known as fucking whatever, Heath, a hacker, a fucking drug addict, alcoholic, murderer, smart ass, convict, felon, hippie, pothead. To name me is to negate me. By giving me a name, you negate all the other things I possibly could be. So let's get down to it. What am I? I don't know. Do any of you know? More importantly, if I had to come up with an idea of what I thought I was or what I think I am, what is it? More importantly, where did it come from? The idea, the notion, the thought, the definition, the book that held the definition, any of it. It's all bullshit. It's all complete fucking shit. That world this world that you think, you perceive to be real, right? I don't want some crackhead trying to recover this and use it. That's why I'm going to let it burn all the way. Yes, all the way. I'm going to burn it in its entirety. And we're going to burn several more before this is done to prove a point. No other reason. Now, that world that just allowed a substance that millions have died for. Not only have millions of lives been lost in the quest for that substance, that very substance that we just seen go up like nothing has been the damnation, the ruin of the entire, the whole system itself. And what is it? If I were to formulate an opinion, it would be just that. It would be an opinion. How truthful or probable for truth could there be? Because when I formulate that opinion, that is going to be based on a few variables. First off, and primarily, it's going to be based on the here and now. This minute, in front of this camera, this microphone, this chair, that's the here and now. Except, that's my point. The here and now is the bullshit. I take you back to a time last night. It was the wee hours of the morning. I had a pocket full of money. I had a pocket full of drugs. I had 100 million women I was talking to on the internet. And you know, women are always fucking money hungry, them gold digging, chasing bitches. And I was horny, and I'm thinking, wow, man, I'm about to give me a whore. Come on here, I'm about to fuck. Matter of fact, I'm going to have a bunch of them come over, have an orgy, and do a live stream. That was my last conscientious thought. The next thing I know, 9 hours and 17 minutes had passed. I was still fully clothed, however my shoes were not on. I didn't know where my cigarettes are. I didn't know where my phone's at. I don't know where my charger's at. I'm in another fucking complete other portion of the house. I'm sitting in a chair that is in a damn reclined position. So somehow I sat down in the chair. I reclined it. I put my phone here. I put my cigarettes here. Now these are a lot of thoughts that I had to have done subconsciously. Stay with me though, because I know some of you out there are going to say, yeah, but you're always on drugs, dude. All them drugs, dude, made your brain gone. You did some weird shit. And then you other idiots out there are going to tell me something about sleepwalkers that get in the car and drive to McDonald's. Hold on. So, could we all argue that while we sleep, which does take up a big percentage of our time here, things happen. Seemingly, life goes on as it did. And then there comes a time, and we don't know. We don't have a description, a definition, a nothing. We go from that place or that state of being to this one. What changes? Well, I could never, as hyper as I am, I could never lay in a bed 7, 8, 9 hours and not move. I've noticed that some of these instances for me, lots of stuff changes. Like I started out, I did the whole, the dreams. Have you ever heard those, takes those exercises where every dream that you can remember, write down every single thing that you remember about that dream. No matter how small, no matter what time. If you wake up 3 o'clock in the morning, write the fucking shit down. And the best I got from that was patterns. I learned that there are patterns. You know, you do see things that are reoccurring for whatever reason. Like with me, it was I seemed to wake up at a certain time of the night every night. And I'd get up and every time I'd do the same thing. I'd go to the bathroom, I'd come back to bed, I'd fall right back to sleep, and then I'd wake up cold and shit, where I'd not put all my blankets back on. And you know, anyway, I'm getting off topic. I digress. Apologies. There were patterns that emerged. Never, you know, I have no good explanation. I can only deduce, judging by how much the other aspects of my life are just like everybody else's, that those two probably, it's like that with others. That led me to wonder, what if, just pretend, hypothetically, during that time that my body is seemingly not my own, is it taken over? If it is in fact taken over, and that's how it's done, as in, like, just say, think of the skin suit like a vehicle. And the reason I say that is because, like last night, was I tired? Yeah. I had been up for 36 hours, roughly 37 hours. In that 37-hour time food, I consumed roughly 1,950 calories, a total of 41 ounces of fluid beverage. Is it possible or conceivably possible that had I sat down that I could have just fell asleep? Yes, that is entirely 100% accurate. However, what makes it weird, and these are things I don't do, I'm that paranoid of the fucking wind blowing that I don't pass out in front of a computer with it on, with it doing shit. Especially not one that's got a fucking terminal open on Linux. Especially not one that, anyway. I don't claim to be legal. I claim to be righteous, or strive to be, and I do not give a fuck about legality. I would not have fallen asleep, passed out, or whatever you call it, in the position I did. It's happened lots of times. No, not like I'm fucking got sleep at. There's been quite a lot of occasions in which I've fallen asleep, for lack of a better way of putting it. And when I woke up the next day, it just, things seemed off about it, you know. In times past, I wouldn't have given this much thought. I have given it a lot of thought so far as trying to figure out, you know, as much as I could about the isolated event situations, but I never really dope whores don't pass up money. That sounds off topic. Thieves don't pass up money. Yeah, I got a YouTube channel out there somewhere, and most of you, a lot of you already know this. It's got 11-something thousand subscribers. Somebody hacked into it. I can't get into it, right? You all have heard this story a million times. Why hasn't anyone accessed any of the money associated with the channel? Kind of like when I cashed those counterfeit money orders. Why was the rest of the money never investigated into? My thought is that how close to that movie, The Truman Show, are we? I mean, I don't know that any of this is real. Of course, my mother will come in at some weird hour and start talking some weird shit. I wrote it down. No, I'm not going to read it to you. She'll say that she had I remember she told me, and yes I do, I remember she told me yesterday that she had to go, she was going to my aunt's, and they were going out to eat, blah, blah, blah. Let's go back to the dope whores. Who passes up money? Here, do we need a reminder? Where's my wallet at? We'll burn some more money. That seems to keep things exciting, at least. Ow. Let's see. I like burning up money because it proves a fucking point. I'm sick of games. And for those out there that get this, that get where I'm going, there's a lot fucked up about this place. And I don't know where I fit in, but it ain't right. It's just like my vehicle that I just bought a vehicle the other day. Not that I thought that that specific vehicle would work. I didn't. Why am I not allowed to leave? Now I got just over $1,300 here. Well, actually I got more than that if we go to the bank. And I don't care. We can burn it. My point, I'm not allowed to leave. When I say I'm not allowed to leave, let's think in terms of geographic locale. If I take off and start walking right now, within, we'll say the 3 to, depending on which way I walk, the 2 to 5 mile range, I'll end up at Highway 411. How far will I make it? And I have to ask that question because you can check county, state, local record. You'll find a case several years back where I attempted to walk to work. That time I didn't make it a good distance at all. I made it a total of 19 yards. Yeah, 19 yards later, my mother, if you questioned her today while she's still alive, her sworn under oath testimony would be, I don't know where they all came from. She remembers seeing a cop, then she remembers seeing a cop car. The next thing she knew, there were cops everywhere on top of me. I was subsequently charged with especially aggravated on an assault on an officer, 2 counts, both counts were, in fact, all of that was got rid of. They dismissed everything, cost tax to the state. So, if you want to go somewhere, it requires other things working in conjunction with your want. You're not going to go anywhere unless there are things that work with you. What are them things? I don't know. For the longest, I thought it was law enforcement themselves. No, they're a part of it, but no, it's not law enforcement. I thought it was the church. I mean, hell, my first memories are a fucking Catholic priest fucking molesting us and shit. Going to a fucking I don't know if it was in fact Catholic, but going to a Christian girls' home where my sister was molested in front of me. The church would be a big one. Are they? Yeah, they're part of it, but no, they're not responsible. They're not. It's not it. No matter how high up the ladder you go, you find out the same thing I did. It still works the way it works, and most of them higher levels, even if you could bring any of them down, it wouldn't change any of it. If it's not decreed, for lack of a better way of putting it, that you do something, you don't do it. Period. Nothing can stop. Nothing can make you, allow you to have it. Do it. Be it. Go there. Come from there. The same is true if it decides that you can, you should, you are. Now, before we get all fucking spiritual and people start running for the fucking hills, I've spent a lifetime running from God. Running from even the admission that the idea of God was even a plausible, let alone possible one. And finally I come to the point where, yep, I don't know if I call him God, but there's definitely a higher power, and I can't wait till that motherfucker decides to judge me and send me to hell. I'm gonna spit in his motherfucking face and tell him to get off his motherfucking ass and fight me like a motherfucking man. You want to sit there and you want to create me, motherfucker? Put up some goddamn fists that look just like mine, that weigh the same amount as mine, that have went through the same shit as I have, and fight me with them motherfuckers. Because just like every other time in life, I guarantee you, if any of you ever out there, anywhere, beat me, it will be because you got over on me. You cheated me some kind of way. Now, if you've a normal fucking sentient being such as myself, and you've lived a fucking legitimate fucking straight up fucking life, and we come head to head, and it's fair and equal, then it's just that. But when the cops got 60 fucking cops and one dude, yeah, they win every time. That's not a win, though, because they cheated. Or when I come up against Jesus Christ, a man who can walk on water. He can walk on fucking water, do all kinds of cool tricks. If I learned the same tricks that he got to learn, and then we challenged each other, it'd be one thing, but it's never like that. It's always all this fucking steered, engineered shit that gives the other side the upper hand. Without getting too ahead of myself, there is a higher power, most definitely, and here's my confirmation of that. So here I was lost as a young man. I had realized that there is a higher power, and the next time I see him, I'm gonna knock his fucking teeth out. I hate that motherfucker. So I did against God the everything that an against God person can do. I started studying Satanism. I started reading the Lesser Key of Solomon, Goetia. I started looking into becoming a Wiccan. I started fucking studying fucking math and fucking alchemy, trying to learn enough chemistry so I could do all these spells and make all these potions and blah fucking blah, read Talmud this, Kabbalah this, fucking. Some of it's actually pretty cool, though. The Vedic text, Hindu, and I don't know if it's because of age, but anyway, I digress. And then all of a sudden, now I was preparing my life for this showdown. Ultimately, someday I was going to have a fight with this Godhead, and I was going to whoop that motherfucker's ass. And then I met somebody. Now, I didn't know what experience the rest of you have. People to me have always been selfish. They don't give me shit. My own sister would steal my dope and help me look for it. And then turn around and call the police when we were done and tell them I'm a drug dealer and put me in jail. And then the rest of my family would show up as her witnesses in court that they seen me do it and I should be in jail. That's how normal people are. That is a reference to a somewhat true story too, by the way. Not that I need to call anybody out, but fuck you, I've done gotten over it. I do like to point it out though. But those have always been worse people. But everyday average Joe Q public citizen, they're thoughtless, selfish. Now when you get into drug game, your street life, okay, problems that are already problems, when in the presence of other problems, guess what? They just get worse. You know, the first and only person I've ever had give me something for free, as in nothing expected. And not only did they give it to me for free, they sought me out to do so. That was what you all would call a dope whore. And no, she wasn't a fucking, I don't like to, she might have been a whore. I'm not in my right place to say that, but that's, society sees this woman today, that's what they'd say. She's a dope whore. I know one woman showed me her tits, and the other woman offered me a ride, and I was in the hot sun, and hell, if nothing else, I could bum a cigarette, and then one of them said they'd get me some dope. Now, hey, who am I to look a gift horse in the mouth? I jumped in, we'll go, where are we going? I don't give a fuck. I'll just sit back here and be quiet. Later on, I just figured that was the event which pulled me towards this Godhead, right? Because now I'm working for God. Except, okay. So, that gets me to a situation where I start to, it changes my worldview, my mindset. Maybe I gave God a fucking hard time, Maybe God isn't as bad, and maybe, So then you would think that if you're serving God, per se, are you prospering? No. Are you even safe? No. Well, then what if you're serving the wrong God and that's why all that shit's happening to you? No. The very same problems that have plagued much of humanity and still continue to do so, they don't operate. I'm not going to say that they're immune to any kind of a spiritual mandate, but it's almost like they operate without regard for spirit. And what I'm saying to you is that if you're in a situation that is meant to play out a certain way, it doesn't matter who you pray to. It's going to play out the way it's meant to play out. Now, I don't know what that means. I was certain I was certain that I was really on to something when I got back into the matters of dealing with the spirit. And is there a higher power? Yes, most definitely. When I say a higher power, what I mean is, like right now, I'm in a biological suit, for lack of a better way of putting it. And I am in I am inhabiting this physical domain, this space, whatever this thing's taking up, this body, right? And that's limiting. Because of the body means I'm limited to the 3 dimensions that we exist in. Touch, sight, smelling, hearing, space, all that. What you can physically comprehend, we're limited to that, right? Meaning, what if I wanted to walk through that wall over there? Well, I can't really do so because there's my body and then that's another a body, and they have to pass through one another, but they can't because we're both existing the same. We can't both physically exist the exact same physical space and time simultaneously. It doesn't work. I mean, it's real simple. Look, there's a wall, here's a body. How can they both be at the same place at the same time? It's not going to happen. Now, a metaphysical being, let's make it easy, a ghost. Now, that ghost can appear as anything, but it's still a ghost. That ghost isn't governed by the same laws of physics as we are. Reason being, at this current time, I'm existing both mentally in the mind and in the physical being as being a 3-dimensional being. So my psyche would even limit me passing through that wall, whether or not it was physically possible. Whereas the ghost, the metaphysical being, it's not limited by 3 dimensions of space. So if I had a ghost sitting in this recliner beside me, it could walk through a wall. Any one of my friends that I think are angels, they could walk through them walls. So we've got a pretty good case going for the Christians out there in God. That's awesome. But here's where it gets kind of fucked up, and I'm gonna bash God for a minute, and for all you listening, I hope you forgive me. God, I really hope you forgive me. We had this conversation earlier, and I'm just gonna rehash it for these folks, but it's my perception that if God is real, he's an idiot. Think about it. Our life, everything that you see, you think you've heard about, it's all fucking amazing, magnificent, but it's flawed. Now, it's flawed, but without reason. Now, I say without reason because what case could you make to justify flaw? Come up with something better than one man's junk's another man's treasure. Now, we're taught that there's this loving being somewhere that created everything, and we're supposed to give that being credit for everything. And at some point, this being's going to judge our performance. Okay? What's the win if you win? Well, in the Christian customs, they teach you get to go to some place called heaven. Well, I don't know how y'all feel, but to me, what if Jeffrey Dahmer, what if he works out a deal, and the deal he cuts out, he gets to go to heaven? I ain't never had nothing or no one. I don't even really have friends. I don't have no hope. I have no optimism. I have nothing. That motherfucker cuts a deal at the last minute, which results in the saving of his eternal soul. Great. I'm happy for him. I'm not knocking him for that. I'm just saying, why does he get the same motherfucking prize at the end of the day that I do? That would create a situational conflict. Meaning, that in itself would create polarity. Opposite. Good, bad. Up, down. Conflict is the opposite of symphony, peace, harmonics, harmony. Okay, conflict is the chaos, noise, distortion. None of us have the ability to mentally perceive what heaven could be. I think that it's an individual, case-by-case, perception-based situation. But you would like to presume, though, that if nothing else, that a heaven would be at a more at rest or peaceful state of existence, right? That wouldn't be possible when you were intentionally creating chaos by creating heaven. Meaning, you've got this box that you're putting people in, and they've all done different things, but somehow they ended up at the same spot. Okay, so let's say that it's not a performance-based judgment that gets you to that place. Then again, I ask, what's the argument for making a flawed motherfucking creation? You think if you're God, then you're intelligent. Now, I'm a fucking moron. I'm a dope smoking, ugly, wear socks for 2 days. I got tattoos that might be Chinese, but then again, they might say I suck dick in Japanese. I'm a weirdo. People don't like me. Now, if you're God, you can do better than me. Okay? So why would you create conflict? Give me one useful purpose for conflict. To teach? Okay, so that's where you get fucked up, people. If you're a God, are you going to create something that you need to fucking work on every day? Hey, I don't know what kind of trucks y'all think about and like and shit, but if I had that big boy money, which I'll never have probably, and I don't, I want me a fucking like a F-350 with like fucking 30 inches of fucking lift on it, and I bet you I don't have to work on that truck every day. Matter of fact, except for taking it in for minor adjustments on occasion, I bet you I don't ever have to take it in. And I'm a fucking idiot. If I was a God. Now, so we can't find, I couldn't come up with a logical, let alone plausible reason for conflict. Because if you've created something as magnificent as all of this, it would be flawless. You wouldn't create it with such a problematic nature that it required not only constant upkeep, but the majority of it broke and destroyed itself in complete failure. And we're not even talking about good and bad yet. We're just talking about physics and this design. Not only would they fuck themselves up so bad that they almost all failed and completely destroyed themselves, but they destroyed the world in which you built these things on. Anything that would create that much pandemonium, conflict, stress, is one or two things in my book. If they did it intentionally, they're narcissists. They're psychotic, antisocial, homicidal tendencies having motherfuckers. They are extremely nervous, egotistical. They're conceited. But they also got, they kind of like got fucking Asperger's disease, or fucking definitely, probably highly functioning, autistic. A lot of psychosis. Now, but there's so much good that would indicate in the world that I'm just having a lot of trouble with the whole idea of this and this shit. Yeah. So back to God. So now here's this God that now he's created all this, and but people like me, now I'm just supposed to go with the program. Finally, I start getting tested. I'm really getting tested, right? I'm deep into my test. I draw a line in the sand. Hey, look here. Now, you motherfuckers running me back and forth like a chicken with my head cut off. Motherfucking devil over there, you over there fucking being funny and shit, throwing dicks at me, so when I trip and fall and land straight on a nigger dick. You fucking motherfucker over there, God over there, you sitting there laughing because you knew he was going to do that shit, and here I suffer in the fucking middle. Lost. Now, when I say draw my line in the sand, what I mean is, I tell both the God and the devil, alright, I know what my allegiance is worth. Because I know that if you asked me, and I literally mean anyone, people don't test me on shit like this because it really fucks me up, you know, when you want me to do stupid shit. Just ask one of my ex-bosses about me eating a beef jerky style sausage that had sat in the back of a boat for 3 years in the sun. No, I didn't die from it, obviously, but it's not something you want to do. Anyway, I would chop my motherfucking dick off, put it on a fucking silver fucking platter, and walk 100 fucking miles with no camel just to drop it in a fucking trash bin and fucking, because someone asked me to, if it was a worthy, notable, righteous cause. There's no limit to my loyalty. So when I got my line drawn in the sand, I say, look here, God, devil, I'm sick of the fucking bullshit. What you offering? You want me to serve? You want me to be a loyal, respectful, liege, whatever you want to call it, servant? I know what my servitude's worth. What are you offering me for it? That's when the shit hits the fan. What could either of them offer me for it? This world? The very same world that's already so fucked up that most people don't even want to be on it to begin with? No, I'm not really a fan. That's not a good offer. As it is now, let's say I was born right now. You imagine how much work I'll have to do my entirety of my life for this place? And it's all fucked up. So this, you giving me this world as a gift? No, you can keep it. It's not worth nothing. People have so thoroughly fucked it up that it's going to require countless amounts of work by countless numbers just to return it to some, I don't know, more easily inhabitable state. So the earth, and that wouldn't work either, because you figure you got a lot of people that go to heaven. You have a lot of people that serve these different deities, you know? If you only got one world, you can't just give it to the first guy. So again, back to the question. What am I offered for my servitude? Not a fucking thing. Everything I've ever done, I've done it out of the goodness of my heart, willfully. Because I serve a higher conscience. I serve a higher calling than myself. What is it? I don't fucking know. Who is it? I don't know that either. But I know that there are both Christians and Satanists alike that frequent some of the same circles that I do. And I don't think it's because we're all part of the same thing is why they're there. I don't even know how to explain half of this. I will say that predominantly it's been that system. I burnt that $20 bill. That system and the things most closely connected with that system, they are the enemy of that. I'll go to a fucking pig roast with a bunch of Satanists and Christians. Okay? That pig roast and all them Satanists and Christians, that system is the righteous one. This government thing, this whatever we call this instrument, it's the falsehood. Now, it gets worse because a lot of you don't really give a fuck about government. That's a good thing, but you do go to church on Sundays. Well, that church, the teachings that they're giving you, that whole fucking church system, that's the government is the institution, the military, that carries out church decree. The government is only doing what the church tells it to do. In exchange, they both have a symbiotic relationship. Neither one fucks with the other. The problem is between those two structures, there's your fucking, all your control, everything right there. It's that system of church and that system of government. Government is the mind control apparatus of the church. And why would you need people, if you were just teaching a doctrine, why would you need their minds controlled? Because the doctrine you're teaching them is completely full of fucking shit. So even when you piss people off, which has happened in the world today, and you got a lot of people, well, fuck God, I ain't no fucking Christian, fucking Bible thumping idiots. But now, those people, they're not adhering to church doctrine. So you got government to keep them controlled. So now, if we think along those lines, and we think that government is just some bullshit fucking control dynamic that has been instituted and implemented on the people by the church, you know who our real enemy is? Think about it. Think about it, folks. Who's our real enemy? Baptist? Unfortunately, you're just fucking idiots. You're pawns. Methodist? Lutheran? Because you know who created those, what do you call it? I go to a church that's non-denominational, so I'm free from all that. No, you're not. The Catholics created most of those so-called religions. All roads lead to Rome. Now, the Church of Rome, that's as far back as I've been able to get, is the Church of Rome. the First Council of Nicaea, 323 AD. Does that mean that I'm saying that Christianity is wrong? No. All roads lead to Rome. The Christians, okay. I don't like calling that book the Bible because you really fuck people's heads up with that conversation. Because by asking them to Bible, you're and then handing them a book, you're trying to confuse two denominations. You see, the bull is a fertility god. Yeah. Merrill Lynch, yeah. Anyway. Your Washington Monument, that's a dick. Your so-called military, it's headquartered in the what? The Serapenta, what's that five-headed serpent? Pentagon, that's right. If we looked at a topography map of Washington, D.C., do you see some shit in there, maybe? Okay. Except that Catholic God, it isn't the God of the Bible. It's Dagon, a fucking fish god. Christianity, in its pure form, comes from Christos, or Christ consciousness. Now, that book that you call Bible, it is true. It is his story, history. And that's his story wrote down in such a way that some of it in there, it can be very helpful. I just recently told someone this. If someone sees this later, please, and I don't recall exactly where I found it, all of it. But the speed of light as well as the speed of sound are both broke down in the Bible in a way that it will rival any college professor's synopsis on how to come up with mathematically the speed of light. The first piece of Bible knowledge that I took to heart was the fact that people all over, well, hell, so you mean the only thing I got to do is worry about that mark of that beast? I got to run from that mark? Oh, and 666 is a devil worshiper thing. No, it's not. Carbon contains 6 electrons, 6 protons, and 6 neutrons. The Bible theoretically could be referring to carbon as the beast. Except we get off there because beast, if you study the etymology of the word beast, beast also means an unclean animal. An untamed savage. We called Indians godless redskins. We called them savages. Were they the beast? Well, I don't know, man. The way the white Anglo-Saxon American took blankets infested with smallpox and shit and gives them to the original peoples of Australia, that would lead credence to the idea that we're the beast. Or maybe we're missing it altogether. The point is, those back in them times, you had people like today. You got me. Yeah, I'm a dope addict, piece of shit motherfucker. But if you knock on my door right now, and you need my money, you need my clothes, you need my food, you need me to go out in the yard and get my fucking ass beat and handed it to me. So you got 5 minutes to get away from your boyfriend that's chasing you. And I've never met you. That motherfucker's gonna half kill me, girl, but you better fucking hurry. Make it, and fuck it, at least send me an email or something later. And I'm gonna go wear that ass whooping for you. I don't know what I am. I don't have a name for it. I've met and been fortunate enough to be placed in the contact of others like me. If you asked me to lead some kind of testimony or devotional group at your local church on Sunday, I'd do it. But just know them motherfuckers in that building on Sunday, they ain't fit to lick the shit off my fucking boot. And I know that a lot of you think that that's just completely wrong and blah, 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 blah. But a lot of you also sit there and you, on one hand, say that you're supposed to, that Jesus Christ Almighty is the Lord thy God Himself, and He should be the first God. You should have no other gods before Him. And then you turn around and you spend money. Money's, you think that somehow is acceptable? On one side of it, it says, "In God we trust," and I flip the dollar bill over and there's an owl on it representing Moloch. I don't have any ones on me. Let me see what I can find on 20 of those, just off the top of my fucking head. I'm seeing a whole bunch of stars around this thing that looks like a shield. Then I'm seeing this black bird thing, this double-headed looking thing. Would that be a phoenix? My point is that if you're a fucking Christian that believes life the way your so-called Bible teaches you, and you're using this, then you're the complete fucking opposite of everything in that fucking book. So you ain't in no position to throw stones my way, motherfucker. Because even I know that if I say Amun-Ra, I'm referring to a sun god. And even I know that if I say Amen, it was a shortened way of saying praise to fucking Ra. You're offering up that prayer to that sun god. Now I know that later on, the Jewish people, not Jews. I'm not an anti-Semite or against any Hebrew-speaking people. Although there's not many Jews in America, I'm referring to the actual Jews. They're okay. Jewish people, they're the ones that have taught you that, oh no, Amun-Ra, that association's wrong, although they might have used it. And you're the same people that get your fucking facts from Snopes. Don't listen to me if you don't want to. I will tell you that you're easily steered, all of you. I do it every day. Every single day. And for the idiots out there that say, "Oh no, not me, you won't, you ain't getting over on me." Yeah. Because if I've come in contact with you, I know everything about you. I've got your blood type, I've got your mom's maiden name, I've got your fucking credit card number, I have every fucking thing I could possibly want about all of you. So even the ones that, they can't be got, are still got. But I'm no threat to anything or anyone. I'm not trying to threaten anything or anyone. I'm just trying to snap some people's heads out of their asses. Now, those people that walked around back then, all of a sudden somebody in the village gets sick. They get the shits. You know what finally helps them? One of them long-haired hippie freak motherfuckers happens to stop by the village. And you talking about, "Man, I sure am hungry, man. I gotta get you to the house. The wife, she just loves feeding strangers. We don't get them often. We go feed you. But I ain't gonna be able to eat, man. I've been shitting for days. Asshole all chapped and torn up, bleeding and shit." And that dude says he gets out he grabs some fresh grass from where y'all are sitting there, and he takes this bottle of shit out of his pocket. He throws some of that on there, and as you asks you to wipe your ass with it. And you figure, since you can't break bread with the man as custom dictates, it's the least you could do. Besides, he acts like it might help, and it can't get any worse. Your shitting went away. You were cured. It's a miracle. Later on, we referred to people that had come in contact with him. Those would be the anointed. And they were called the anointed because those, whoever, always used oil. Later, we called that shit holy oil. You know what that oil was? It was based off of olive oil. That was the main component. Frankincense, myrrh, and cannabis. A lot of miracles performed with that there oil. Now, I'm not going to school you on the effectiveness of the placebo. That's a whole book of knowledge in itself right there. Now, they call, Crisco. Crisco, that's Cristo, that's what? Shortening, which is fat, right? Lord. Now, I know a lot of those connections probably are fucking new and foreign. There's only one. There's only ever been one. I'm a piece of it, you're a piece of it, he's a piece of it, she's a piece. We're all fucking running around like chickens with our head cut off. Now, in our idiocy, in our stupor, some of us formed allegiances. And those allegiances, some are bigger than others. Some, for reasons I can't yet comprehend, hijacked humanity. It's easy to control a person, you know. Eat at McDonald's. I've told many of you this before. For those that are new out there, most of your advertising is based on talking to the psyche, the mind, the subconscious mind more specifically. That's why when you see, like, you remember art class when you were a kid and you were learning all them primary colors and them secondary colors and shit? Why do you think they just vaguely, briefly threw that shit in there for you? Trying to inspire you, maybe? No. They were clearing karmic guilt. That was the first tools that they were going to use to wipe your fucking mind and basically fill it full of a bunch of shit. And since they were ultimately going to do something very evil to you, they needed to make sure that you were aware of what they were doing. And they made sure very easily. They told you. Now, I know you didn't read it that way, and you didn't think about it that way. It don't matter. They still told you what they were doing. You see, when the mind sees color, it doesn't perceive color the way you think it is. Like I'm looking at this lighter, and this lighter's blue, right? Now, how is my mind interpreting what I'm seeing? If the mind sees the color red and yellow, for some reason the subconscious mind assembles that together and formulates the color orange. For some reason, depending on the levels of fucking dopamine, this and that in the blood at this time, when the mind formulates and sees that color orange, it releases serotonin and melatonin, and it fucking, with the already fucking heightened level of dopamine, long story short, they kick in your appetite. They kick in them hunger pains. They can do that, yes. They can make you feel like you're hungry when you're not. It's probably a little harder. But you're driving home, you just got off work. You just stopped and picked your wife up, you got the kids in the car. You don't really feel like cooking anyway. You are tired, admit it. And right when you pass by that McDonald's, both them kids see that red and yellow arches. It wasn't real hard for them kids to convince you to pull through that drive-thru. They didn't do it because they were doing it because they were controlled the same way you were. Now that's a brief level. It happens on many levels. Who is it? I've had Christians do atrocities to me that I don't think it's a spiritual thing. I don't think it's like God devil. I don't know. I know everything works diligently to see to it that I fail. I know that I'm not going to be here much more. What does it mean? I don't know. There's so much that I wish I could say that I was a benefit for. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know how things are going to work out. I spend more time than not now just trying to hide, because I know the instant that I get around people, places, or things, stuff gets weird. The animals, they're, other than exhibiting like weird things, like when I say weird, what I mean is the cats, they'll sit there sometimes and they'll be looking at something, and I'll look at what they're, try to look and see what they're seeing, because they're just like fixated. They're in this gaze and they're just lost, right? And I'll walk up on them like, what the fuck's that cat looking at? I must get lost too, because a lapse of time as I know it, time will go away. The next thing I know, I've been standing there doing the same thing the cat was for 20 minutes. At first I thought it might be drugs or alcohol. It's not. I say it's not because even when I eliminate entirely, regardless of what any of you naysayers out there think, when I eliminate entirely drugs or alcohol from the equation, the thing still happens. Whatever it is that's happening. They have whatever this demographic is that does a lot of this shit. They've infiltrated every last aspect of life. I used to play with people. I'd say, buy me a phone. Show me where I can buy one. I can't. You know why I'm streaming? Ask me why I'm only streaming this on Facebook. Because no other platform worked. And worst part, when I tried to stream it through YouTube, restream, with the hopes that maybe later one of the other platforms might have been fixed and someone might have been able to. And even doing it just on Facebook, according to this, I've had, I don't know, quite a bit of dropped. It had dropped several frames. So it's not been a perfect stream. I don't have a home phone. It's fucked up. The cell phone, it's fucked up. All of my backup stuff is intermittent at best. I get a lot of weird sensations. Static, shock. I'm getting shocked all the time. Everything I fucking touch shocks me. I mean, like literally everything. Like fucking plastic, paper, sheets. The animals console me and comfort me. People, even those that appear as my best friends. My senses, I don't know, it gets weird when people are around. They change, and I don't know why. Something's wrong with my nose. Everybody's had a booger, right? Well, my right nostril, I don't know what's wrong. There's something wrong with it. It hurts. I breathe out of it, smell out of it, touch it. and it's not going away. It's not getting better. Money. That's what really is freaky, because I don't know of a demographic that would have no use for or regards for money. And I mean, money that I indirectly have access to hasn't been accessed at all. I mean, it's like, and I'm so utterly miserable that I really am happy that there's no quick and easy way I could just fall and break myself into a billion pieces. Because I would real easily get clumsy and do just that. For no other reason than just to have something to do. I'm so lonely. I can't, it's hard to function. People don't want nothing to do with me at all. At all. Even so-called friends. Even so-called family. The longest conversation I've been allowed to have with my mother this month, and when I say this month, I'm talking about in the last 30 days. Right now, our total is up to about 13 minutes, 12 minutes. Actually, it's about 12 and a half minutes, closer to 13 minutes. And of that conversation, she dominates roughly 70% of it. And no, I'm not attacking my mother, it's everybody. It's like they'll talk for a half hour, and if I start talking about something, they gotta go do laundry. Their kid just got off the bus. The few people that act like they're my friend and act like they're there for me, it really makes me feel good when they're around. But they're gone so quick that I have nobody all the time. None of my nothing I do or say, I don't know if it works. I do try to stream still, but I get no exposure on any of it, to the point that even when people I've been subscribed to for many years send me messages, I don't even get the messages till weeks later. They're not getting alerted anytime I stream or anytime I post anything. I'm only able to sign on to the internet certain times of the day. If I try to sign into the internet on a time it's not appropriate, or for whatever, however it's figured, it just don't work. I can't even get so far as go to a store and buy a pack of cigarettes. I can't have I tried to, if you like the country, if you don't like America, you can leave it. I'm trying. I can't. I bought a car the other day. I still have it. Nah, technically I don't have it. I can't get it. I can't get nobody to help me. I try to call a tow truck, but every tow truck in the entire portion of my state all went out of business the same day. My biggest fear is that my death will be for nothing. My biggest fear is that my death, not having the value that I would attribute it, will be used to add value to someone else or something else. I've never wanted to harm anyone, including myself, and I still don't. But whatever's happening, it's killing me. And I'm not going to allow my death to be in vain. But at the same time, that means getting to that point. And what I'm living, I can't see me doing much longer, and I've tried leaving, and they won't, nothing to let me leave. And so a lot of my decisions now are based on the fact that I'm trapped. So when you see me in 20-degree weather with no shirt on, just know I'm trapped. So I don't know what else to do than to try to make it worse so that I might just die from some fucked up disease, something quicker, because I'm in so much pain that it makes it hard to function. Physical pain as well as heartache. Heartache because in the entirety of my life I've always wanted to figure out where it is that I belong. I don't belong here. I never have. My mother throwing me against the wall and breaking my collarbone is my first memory. Now I know that she has other... It was my fault. She was trying to breastfeed my sister and I was jerking on her. The point is, for some reason, I was made to feel like I didn't belong. It never quit. And so what has been my life's mission? To get somewhere that is acceptable for me to be me. And I know I'm not there yet because I really feel bad. I'm gonna go to bed tonight. Like right now, it's 9:30 at night. Nobody cares. I can tell by my inbox. And that also makes a strong argument against divinity as we know it. Because regardless of what you perceive about me, I'm intelligent. And I know what kind of a force I can be. So any supreme being that would waste me isn't very intelligent. And they're all wasting me thus far. Both good and bad, or however you perceive them to be. And people, there's a lot of you out there right now that are saying, I'm a good person. I have to disagree. And I don't do that to be mean or arrogant or cocky. I'm just saying I've been begging for help for years. And ain't none come yet. I think that if any of us were truly good, we would help each other. And I don't see where we have. Do we? And if we do help each other, then how are we going so fucking backwards into oblivion? Because if we truly helped each other, the demographic of people like me, right now, I wouldn't be having these thoughts. I'd be thinking about a way to get rid of that island in the middle of the ocean of trash. You know, we have an island of trash that's so big that we haven't gotten rid of it because we don't know how. What I mean is that, you know, you figure like, have you ever went to a lake to go fishing and you seen like, you got into some little cove and the trash had gotten backed up there and it was all in that cove all over? Think of the ocean the same way. Yeah, you throw trash ends up in the ocean, right? Well, because of the way the tides go and the currents and shit, it coagulates into a spot. Pretty soon more trash gets there. This goes and goes and it's left untreated and finally it's discovered one day. And it's miles thick, miles in diameter. So you figure, I'll just haul all this trash off. Okay, we got 8 hours left of daylight, boys. Let's haul it off. Now, you're doing your 8 hours of hauling off, but there's more trash accumulating. Before you get to the end of it, more is accumulated. When you come back to work tomorrow, the first half of your day, you're dealing with the reaccumulation of trash. So logistically speaking, they throw their hands up in the air because we don't know how to get rid of it. So we've got an island that's miles thick and miles in diameter floating around the ocean. that would be the type of thing that I would devote thought to. I know that when you take a Colombian and a Cambodian psilocybe cubensi mushroom and clone them together, not the very first time you do it, but about the second, they're a prolific producer, and the psilocybin is produced from that mating. You don't throw up. Meaning, I don't know if any of you out there have experience with hallucinogenic mushrooms, but you don't throw up. You're not allowed to. Most of you are legal law followers, so this next part of this little conversation just will be lost on you. But I'm just getting it out there because I don't know. I might die 5 minutes from now. I don't know. But what bit of knowledge I do have is shared. Now, one of the great things about hallucinogenic mushrooms is this, and I found this by accident. Let's say I eat 5 grams of psilocybe cubensi mushrooms today, and I go somewhere. I take a trip, literally take a trip. It's an awesome experience. It's beautiful. Nothing bad happens. The next day, my buddy says, "Well, I want to do that too." Okay, man, let's go. I eat my 5 grams again, and I give him 5 grams. Except, we noticed that I didn't feel nothing. He got the same. You see that tolerance? Built up tolerance. Okay. Now imagine if you're a seasoned professional that does this all the time. Eventually, your tolerance is such that it ain't even worth it for you to do any. Through trial and error, I discovered that about a gram of dried psilocybe cubensi mushrooms, I would have no external effect whatsoever. None. Zero. No euphoria, no seeing visual changes, no nothing. But here's what I felt physically. Physically, the pain relief, wake up every day for an entire month, not hurt a bit. When I would get lower back pain or hip pain, it manageable. When I say manageable, I mean depending on your situation, you might have pretty severe pain. I've had back injuries, blah blah blah. I could take a few ibuprofen, relax in a recliner, and it would subside enough that life was still livable. I could retain quality of life. The trapezium nerve. Now I don't have any science to prove this, but we have a trapezium nerve in our body. Now, the effect that I feel as a result of damaging mine, I get these electronic shocks sometimes, right? And what they'll result in is when I'll have a couple of these, I'll get like a locked up neck where I'll be like stuck. And I'll crook in the neck where you sleep wrong, except mine will last like a week. Look, I'm thankful I've not had one in 6 months, but they happen pretty regularly, right? Well, the whole time I was doing the mushroom treatment, they didn't happen at all. Non-existent, 100%. Physically, it was the best my body has felt in the entirety of my life. It led me to thinking about, ways of consumption. When you dry up, make a powder, sometimes you still might puke. Sometimes you still might get nauseous. The best delivery system I found was to take them and take your psilocybe cubensi mushrooms that are 100% cracker dry, place them into a fucking a food processor, grind them till you got a powder. Take that powder, put them in a jar. Cover that powder with as close as you can get to 100% alcohol. The closest I found was Tennessee White Lightning moonshine. Cover that mush pile just enough to where it's over the top of it. Put it in a dark space. Leave it alone for a month. Strain it. Let that now you'll have that liquid. Let it evaporate off. The residue that remains as a result of that evaporation. Put it into some double O, that's a size OO gel cap. You can even get organic ones. You can, matter of fact, they've even got vegan choices. When you first start, I would take 3 capsules a day, and I didn't give a fuck if I was high or not, or what I felt or didn't feel for 3 days, and then take one every day, one a day thereafter. It levels that. When you've got your dose right, you'll know it because you feel absolutely nothing. You can't see nothing. You can't feel nothing. But the body, you will physically. Anyway, that's the stuff we should be devoting thought to. Instead, we have to devote thought as to whether or not I just committed a felony by having this conversation. And is the cop that shows up at my door to arrest me, is he going to be one of them nigger cops or one of them white ones? The fact that I would even have to say words like that or even have thoughts that would allow me to think like that, that's what's fucked up. The problem is this, just like I started with this stream. We've been kept in the dark real bad. There's a reason that my channel that's got 11,000 subs still up is up. There's a reason my other channel's still up. There's a reason no one's touched any of the money associated with those channels. Hey Mom, you remember all them counterfeit money orders? So out of $500,000, they catch me for $500 worth? Where'd the rest of the money go? Oh. Why hasn't anyone touched anything? What's going on that nothing matters? We're all kept in the dark. We're all kept in the dark. And there's been people around you your entire lives trying to snap you out of it. Pull your head out your ass, smack you around a bit. As for me, I'm going to end this live stream. I'm going to go try to find some dope and some whores. Neither one's probably going to happen or work out. It don't matter, because I'm going to do the same thing I do every day. Most of you won't ever give a shit. Some of you might. If you get a chance, look me up. I'm sure I'm easily found somewhere. If you're in my neighborhood, and I don't care if you presume I'm fucking your wife or not, stop by my house. Honk the horn. I will happily feed you, give you conversation. If you got some injuries, I do have a little bit of medical experience. I can, in limited situations. In all situations, I'll help you out to the best of my extent, no matter who you are. And I don't care if you're Lucifer the devil himself with a broke leg that you got fucking having a fucking bow and arrow shootout with God. You can stop by. I'll try to help you if I can. I can't make promises, but what I can promise is that I'm a fuck up. So let the record clearly state, I under full acknowledgement of what I was doing, said that I was a fuck up. I have never claimed to not be a fuck up. So quit bitching every single time I fuck up when you know that that's what I'm going to do 99% of the time. What you should do instead is get creative. And if you get really creative and you open your mind enough, when you start deciphering and breaking down my fuck ups, look for your bread trail crumbs, and then you'll learn something. And that goes double for you fucking cops out there. I put a little post on Facebook today. When you learn what them sigils on that badge mean, when you can tell me how many leaves are on that olive branch on that bill in your pocket, how many bricks are on that fucking pyramid on that dollar, do you know what each brick represents? How many arrows is that fucking phoenix clutching? And what does each arrow represent? When you know what the fuck you're talking about, then and only then will you be fit to try to tell me something about what I'm talking about. And this goes for everybody. I will not try to intentionally cross you. But if you intentionally try to cross me, I'm going to try to kill you. And I don't care who you are. We can meet, have an accord, a meeting of the minds, if you can do so honorably. But if you try some Gestapo tactic bullshit on me, just know that this life ain't worth a fuck to me. It never has been. It don't mean nothing today. It didn't mean nothing yesterday. I doubt it's going to mean anything tomorrow. Now, if yours does, fine. Great. Happy for you. I'm not going to fuck with it. But if you come trying to just do some sneaky, underhanded shit to alter mine, I'm going to try to end yours. And I'm not making any fucking false claims. I'm not making any threats. I'm saying that I have a right to protect my person and my person's way of life. And I expect that you would respect that as well. And if you can do so, then hey, what do you want to do? Let's talk. Let's go fishing. Let's have a beer. Let's smoke a joint. Let's grab ass. Let's fuck. Let's whatever. But hopefully be a mutually enlightening, educational experience that we can hopefully leave with, so that others after us will be able to get some knowledge out of as well. Because that's the problem. We've all been kept in the fucking dark. And it's time we put our big boys pants on and quit being so fucking worried about the little nerdy dude getting the favorite piece of ass that you thought you should always have. We can let the ugly dude get the piece of ass, the choice piece once in a while. Because until we can realize that we all need that nerd, we all need that fat girl, we all need each other equally, we're never going to go anywhere anyway. And I don't know how y'all feel, but I'm sick of the fucking running around. But despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. Yeah, running around. You flat earth globe people, that's a ball, right? Okay. What happens when you get in a circle? Yeah. You motherfuckers keep fighting about whether the circle is a square or a fucking circle. There's no beginning and no ending in a circle. And we're all stuck in that same fucking circle until we unstick ourselves. And that's what I'm going to try to do. By ministering to and fucking one drug addict at a time. One lowly person at a time. I'll be like Mighty Mouse, except I'll be mighty fuck up. Anyway, I digress. The point is I'm trying to look for a phone number of a girl and a phone number of a drug producer and a phone number of a politician, because he usually gets the best girls anyway. And I can't believe I said that out loud. Don't laugh at me, Cat. It was an accident. Until next time, that's my last one for the day.